Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the last show of Deep Soul. For dedicated watchers and supporters, you know this has been running for years, and tonight is the last episode, and I don't even know. We are joined by a phenomenal hip-hop artist. He's local, and he is a lyricist. He's quick with his delivery and sharp on his flow. He is amazing when it comes to the type of things he's talked about within the Black community, mental issues, and so much more. Get ready to be inspired. Get ready to have a flow of nothing but charged music. Here is Amarii Davu. Hey guys, as I said, we are joined by Amarii Davu. So that is not your name. So where did Amarii Davu come from? How did you form this name?
Okay, so Amarii Davu is an African name. Amarii means promise from God. Davu means the beginning. Okay. So when I looked at my gift, I looked at it as the beginning of a promise from God.
But then on top of that, though, you also go by Flex.
Right.
Who's Flex?
Flex is a nickname. So
there's too many people when it comes to you.
I've been through a lot of rap names, right?
Yeah.
So Flex comes from one of my old names. It was Reflex of Southern Soul. It was a long name.
Long.
Right.
Right.
So everybody was like, I'm just call you Flex. And I was like,
okay,
that sticks. So,
okay. So what was the first rap name? Is that way back in the day?
Ooh, okay. Reflex of Southern Soul was probably the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many rap names did you go through before you honed in?
Reflex of Southern Soul, Flex, Black Noise, and then Amarii Davu.
Okay. And was the first one originally coming from The Remedy? Because you talked about how you was,
Oh,
so The Remedy. Let's talk about that. Tell us, what is The Remedy?
Okay, The Remedy was me, two of my good friends, MIC and Esquire. And we met at high school, and we just decided to have a group together. So, but they were all each doing their thing, and I was kind of like, we should bring this in, like, let's try something. But we released like 2 projects, and then after the fact, MIC ended up going to jail. So we had to. Yeah, he got out like years ago. He's still doing music and everything, but yeah. So I loved it though. I miss it. I wish we could do it again.
Okay, and so was it a peaceful breakout?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And was they supportive when you said that you wanted to be a solo artist?
They were upset that I didn't give them ideas because I had released a project right after we broke up. They're like, you could have contributed to the ideas this whole time.
That could have.
Right, but
I mean, but it's all in good fun, you know. Y'all are still friends, which is great. And that was, you as a solo artist, was a released album, mixtape to 615 Daydreamers.
Daydreams.
Yes. And let's talk about that right quick, because the title alone was different, because it was in like a Bible verse, 6:15. What's up with that?
So the album, the mixtape was more of a concept. It was a day and night type thing. So I put it like the time, 6:15. But I 615 is the city, it's the area code. But I never say 615, I say 6:15. So just so people could pronounce it the right way, I put it like that.
That just blew my mind. I don't think I ever realized that. I was just like 615. All right, so we got to the beginning of your solo career.
Right.
Let's just go to the beginning of your life, yourself, because your flow always has a message, and there's a reason behind all of that. It's because of the story that you have.
Right.
So let's go into the childhood. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay. From Nashville, Tennessee, raised by a single mother. My sister Brittany, Joe Johnston projects. Went through a lot, man. Like, childhood was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you was able to find your release, or your breakthrough with writing, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
So when did you start writing? That's my first question.
I started writing poetry when I was 11.
What were you talking about at 11?
Man, I was heartbreaks that I never went through, and just, you know what I mean? But
blame with the teacher.
Right. I said the teacher had me read, like, but nah.
That's what she had us read today. What's wrong with her?
Like, I started writing just about my childhood and about my life when I was 11 years old, and I think 3 years later I listened to Common's Beat album, and I fell in love with hip hop. And I was like, yo, this is a whole different world.
Yeah.
So I started writing raps when I was 14. I actually got challenged to a freestyle battle, and I was horrible. I lost it. But that
Is there a
night,
video of this somewhere?
no,
Oh
no,
my gosh,
thank
are you
God.
sure?
No,
I'm
I
going
hope
to
not.
do some research.
This is before like flip phones, so before then.
Before then.
So, but I did horrible. I told him I didn't rap. I used
Okay.
to actually, I used to laugh. I used to joke with my teacher. So I'm gonna be a rapper when I grow up. I used to joke about it because I didn't like hip hop initially.
Why didn't you?
I just didn't understand it. I
Okay.
grew up on like Ozzy Brothers, Patti LaBelle, my mom playing music
That's my stuff.
before we cleaned the house.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't like hip hop, and it wasn't until I started hanging around certain people and I was like, oh, like you can actually use this to help people. Like this is really dope. So, but yeah, that's where I started with hip hop.
Okay. And people always, when they talk to a hip hop artist, I know you get this question a lot. They want to separate and be like, are you a Tupac or are you a Biggie? As you're wearing a Biggie shirt. So
Okay.
which one are you?
I'm wearing the biggest shirt, but I'm definitely Tupac.
Okay, so what makes you lean towards Tupac?
Tupac he was revolutionary. Like just the way that he thinks, the way that he treated his community. He had respect for his community and he had love for his community. He pushed that in his music. I think what I like about Tupac the most is how transparent he was.
Yeah.
Like one day you get like the thug, one minute you get the philosopher. And he was really transparent and human to me, so I relate to him.
And you had a friend that was a hard Biggie fan.
Yes, my homie Mike G.
Okay, so how was that growing up, or y'all's friendship, and I guess coming into the home and being like, Tupac is dope, no, Biggie is dope, and having that battle?
Me and Mike G, we used to have conversations all the time because he's the one that got me on Biggie, and we just always had conversations. I always had stronger points than him. So, but nah, he was definitely a diehard Biggie fan.
And you did tell me before that he did pass. So
Yeah.
R.I.P. to him. How old was he when he passed?
He was 28.
So what did that teach you?
Man, so this happened in January. What I've had to learn from this situation, Mike passing, is I had to find a silver lining in everything. I realized that I had been very comfortable and stagnant, and him passing kind of put in my head like I got to make this happen. I got to keep pushing, because he was definitely a fan of my music, and he constantly told me I was great, constantly. So I was like, he saw something that sometimes I don't see in myself. So
And sometimes you still don't see it. Am I correct?
yeah, definitely.
Because you have a lot of accolades. You have a lot of things behind you backing up the fact that you are a really good hip hop artist.
Thank you.
But still, sometimes you get in your head. So what helps you not get in your head?
I just have to, because I think as artists, you're conscious of what you're creating, and sometimes I feel like this isn't good enough, and I'm a perfectionist. So I battle with, is this the right message? Is this the right groove, right vibe? But I just have to push forward, like, and I have to remember what I have done and certain words that people have told me. Like, I think recently when I get into my funk, Erykah Badu actually she showed me some love.
Oh, really?
I did a freestyle to one of her songs, and
Yeah.
she was like, "This is ill." So I've been like, I kind of go back into that and like, okay, if Erykah like it, I gotta do something.
You gotta
right?
be.
You know
You're
what I mean?
great. All right. Well, we have more questions for you and so much more when we come back from this break. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. We have right here Amarii, Davu. Before you was talking about, battling in your head and not thinking that you're good or anything in that nature. That battle took a moment of you having an absence of music, correct?
Right.
How long were you absent? When did you, take the absence, and why did you take the absence?
I took the absence in 2012. I felt like I wasn't able to create the way that I wanted to. I felt like very boxed in, and I needed to find, why are you creating music? Like, why? And I stopped making music for about 2 years. I had a dream that Jay-Z talked to me, and the advice that he gave me made me push forward, and I was like, okay, like I need to get this on the road. So once I had that dream, I just started realizing, like, I want to talk about things that nobody's talking about. I want to bring some things to light, so that's what I've been doing.
And it was the absence, and then it was the cost of melanin,
Right.
which became a very successful song in itself. The visual adaptation was beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's go into that because I think that it's a subject a lot of people don't want to talk about, but it's very relevant in our community, in the Black community. What made you want to write the song? Because there's so many different situations, from police violence to just us not getting the full amount of rights that we deserve. So what was the situation that made you write The Cost of Melanin and the mindset behind the visual adaptation?
So I created Cost of Melanin for a few reasons. One, it was back and forth. People were dying in the media, on the news, constantly seeing young Black men, Black women getting killed by police officers.
Yep.
That infuriated me, and I felt like nobody was talking about it. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just get this beat real quick and talk about it. But another incident I got stopped in Nashville. I was walking to my mother's crib, and the police stopped me. It was like 4 cars, and I was like, oh man,
4?
It was 4 cars.
For one person?
They were looking for somebody, and I fit the description. So they were talking to each other, and then they had me sitting aside, and one of the officers started laughing, and I'm like, and so then he kind of called the other ones over. I'm like, okay. And so then he called me over. He's like, hey, is this you? And it was my mugshot from when I was 11 years old, and I was like,
wow.
really? Like, and it made me mad because I was like, I've worked so hard to not be that person that I was, and just being reminded that I was like, man, I'm about to get in the studio and just I'm gonna create something like. So Cost of Melanin came out of that, and the actual visual was a dream that I had.
Okay.
I draw inspiration from my dreams.
You are a man of dreams. Okay,
right.
Joseph.
Like I drew from that dream, but I just wanted to make it so that I feel like sometimes when you see it in the media, it's easy to distance yourself from it. And I wanted to be in that moment to show people like this could happen to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I created a visual, and I was really happy for it. I'm thankful that I met John Ford. He was the director. Like, he brought that together perfectly.
And it was great seeing, noticing towards the end, I liked how everybody was wearing white. And then they had a paper on their back that described what happened to them.
Right.
And I thought that was amazing. And now you had that song, you had that success, but also you had Hopeless.
Right.
And Hopeless was another big one because it spoke of mental issues, which is something very quiet in the Black community. A lot of the old traditional Black community that doesn't exist.
Right.
So I wanted to talk to you about the realness of that and why is that important to you, because you talked about depression. You, I think in a moment when you was walking around with the brown liquor, be careful with brown liquor, by the way. In that one moment, it was like alcoholism. And it was just amazing because it hit a lot of points in our community. So I digress. Can you go into Hopeless and your mind behind that?
Man, Hopeless came from, let me start off. I suffer from bipolar disorder. And it's a battle in and of itself. I also lost a good friend. This was probably a year or so before I created Hopeless. Yeah. He committed suicide. And it bothered me, and I was like, I want to talk about this. I have so many friends that have mental illness, and they're afraid to talk about it. They shy from it because we've been taught like that's something that you sweep under the rug. You don't talk about that out loud. And I think that's problematic. I think that we have to talk about mental illness because there's too many. Even in our community, there's so many people that are passing away. Yeah. And if we don't talk about it, nobody will. So, and alcohol is definitely something that I've battled with. Yeah. So I felt like if that video, I wanted to highlight my own flaws. I want to be very open with that video.
Okay. And I was going to ask you, what change do you want to be in hip hop? But I think you already answered that. So what do you think is missing in hip hop?
What I think is missing is vulnerability, honesty. Yeah. Nobody wants to talk about the real things. Everybody wants to glorify materialism and money, and that's not what life is about. And I feel like if you use hip hop for what it's for, you can heal so many souls and so many people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we're missing messengers. We're missing prophets. We're missing everything minus the business of it, man. Like I just feel like if we can get the poets back in hip hop, that would be beautiful.
It'll be sad.
You know what I mean?
Back in that day.
You know what I mean?
It'll take us all the way back. All right, I want to ask you, was it hard or is it hard being vulnerable? Because that's opening a big part of yourself to people you don't know, and that could be a little bit challenging.
I mean, absolutely, but I realized that I have a purpose, and my purpose is to open myself to the point where people are comfortable. I think the only way that you can truly connect to an audience is if you're metaphorically naked in front of them and you show them, like, I'm human
I love
too.
that. Metaphorically naked, yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, you have to show that you're willing to open yourself. And I think that's where my music started changing, when I started being real with myself. I'm like, hey, you have these issues, you have these, maybe somebody else out there feels the same way. So when I was nervous about releasing Cost a Million and Hopeless, because I was like,
You don't know what you're gonna get
you know
back.
what I mean? Like, I didn't know I was gonna get back, and like people
Yeah.
were like, I deal with that. I have those same issues, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm in the right direction. So
You got back so much praise from it. So before we close out, what is your advice to people that are going through mental illness?
don't be afraid to speak out about it, and don't be afraid to get help.
All
It doesn't
right.
make you weak.
Doesn't make you weak. He says it himself. So please remember that. And thank you so much. And now we're about to have a phenomenal performance by you. So we can't wait for that.
Yes,
Y'all
yes.
stay tuned for an amazing performance when we come back with more of Deep Soul.
My name is Amarii Davu, and this is Back to Me. I feel something in the air tonight now. I feel something in the air tonight. I feel something in the air tonight now. Penny with a hole, man with many soul. Looking at me so like invented any gold. I'll pray to a man that can fix any broke. I say to these hands, you can build plenty building, build up on this. You a lyricist, remember when you were around with no consequence, consonants and vowels. You were being conscious since a child, blocking out your possible head, light your white as life. Locking up your room, tattoos with a knife. Looking at the news with the blues and brother died, and you even survived suicide. Yeah, new demons are right and you ain't died. Gotta be something special. God protects you. Came from the projects just to make projection. Riding around the city, you ain't never need protection. And it ain't that they won't test you, but you'll over make them question like, God. Know why you treat me so good? Well, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. Your love. Your love. Back then I used to think that I was body. Hit my first black, thought that I was Nino Browning. Hit my first blunt, my possession got clouded. Hit my first chick, was it love? Doubted I just wanna do what I gotta do for my family. I refuse to sell grams, can a brother win a Grammy? Grammy a Rihanna accent on Savannah and the yams in them jeans looking like Noah Yannis on no. Thought that was something I should mention. Played by the ideas of riches I was missing. I just wanna see my friends in them big body Benzes. Enough to crash a whip, cop another one and still flicking. I just hate the time is still ticking. I just hate that I can hate something like time and not appreciate the fact it's given. Especially when it's taken like gimme like God. Know why you treat me so good? Well, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. Your love. Switch it up, hey. I feel something in the air tonight now. I feel something in the air tonight. I feel something in the air tonight now. Tonight now. Look. A product of drug addiction and coupled with love addiction. A gangster that love switches, a brother that love king that love queen, a poet that love lyrics, a brother straight out the hood, still keep it corporate, a brother that get rich and don't know what car to get, never did waste time, hold up, I got more to spit. If you was trying to figure me from what I say lyrically, you looking at contradiction but still hit them spiritually, cause when they hit these rhymes they mirror me vividly. See, I ain't afraid of exposing my contradiction, it's the brothers that lie that should be your opposition. I never did gang bang, y'all hung around with them, hung around drug dealers that live right by the pistol, but I saw the fork in the road, drove right through the center. I'm a sinner, never Christian, the brother that hate religion. All in all, through and through, I'm Amarii, Davu. Hey! This is Joy and Pain.
You're now listening to the smooth sounds of freaking Davu's music.
Hey!
Until I see you again, on my mind till I see you again.
These just my highs and lows.
Until I see you again, you're on my mind till I see you again.
These just my, yeah. I'ma let y'all dip into my mind one time.
Until I see you again.
Yeah, yeah.
Until I see you again, you're on my mind till I see you.
Listen, I'm trying to focus on all my highs. Homies want my lows to be why I won't survive. With the spirit of the saint, X and Martin, let these words carry life. If I'm to perish and die, other words to lead these lanes in early grades. If music is my religion, unto Jesus I would pray. But he can't save me though. When I face them gates of them eternal fire blazes, chasing dreams of higher places, racing to a timer set by your higher power. At times I question, will I ever reach a final hour? I contemplated pills and nooses, I can't die a coward. Carved the word Y into my wrist, cause being loved got sour and sick, twisted and bitter emotions. Master pain with masquerades and escapades with these photos shotted. Smile, that's what they tell me. Appreciate that joy and pain even if you helpless. Hey!
Until I see you again, on my mind till I see you again.
These just my highs and lows.
Until I see you again,
These just my highs and lows.
until I see you again, on my mind till I see you
Yeah,
again.
these just my highs and lows.
Until I see you again,
Yeah, these just my, hold up, listen. I used to steal out my mama's purse till I realized that's the last woman I should hurt, but she definitely won't the last. Trail of tears left by my exes in the past, infatuated by the biggest breasts, the next yams, complicated with communication. Don't ask, cause I'd rather not tell. Once cursed God and ever since I lived hell. Doubt he forgave me, on my knees I knelt. Oh, used to handle pain with Mary Jane, lying to my folks when they know I'm not the same. I lost 50 pounds going almost insane. I lost the same amount in trust, loving friends, cause things change. I knew I'd make it through somehow, but back then I couldn't even figure out how. Hey, smile, that's what they told me. Live your life like it's golden, like your mama's oldest. Young homie, hey.
until I see you again, on my mind till I see you again.
These just my highs and lows.
Until I see you again,
Look, these just my highs and lows.
until I see you again, on my mind
Yeah, listen, these just my highs and lows. These just my, listen, hold up, look. Deep soul vibe with it for the one time. Deep soul vibe with it for the one time. Deep soul vibe with it, hey. A vibe with it, hey. A vibe with it for the one time. Deep soul vibe with it for the one time. Deep soul vibe with it for the one time. Deep soul vibe with it, a vibe with it, hey.
I see you.
Yeah. I dish dirt cause dirt help things grow. The applause is just water for this concrete rose. I went from highs to mediums, lowest to lows, reaching out to seeing many doors, closing my nose to be the king of pharaohs. Dreamiest flow, defeated the foes, the odds like not having my pops. He was scared to let his little prince see him on rock. I ain't ashamed to understand, and I love him a lot. Had many teachers tell a homie I was bound to be shot. Now they look back at me, they frown they shot. I got the key to life, if not I guess I'm picking the lot, kicking the spot, Robbie dog, the kitchen, the pots. I spit what I watch and live, and then I try to give it to you. Hope you receiving what I'm bleeding as the deepest of truth. They told me smile, now I smile, and I said to complain. Life, the beautiful struggle, the joy and the pain, baby. Hey, vibe vibe with it for the one time. Deep soul vibe with it for the one time. Deep soul vibe with it, vibe with it, vibe with it, hey, a vibe with it, a deep soul vibe with it for the one time. A vibe with it, hey, a vibe with it, hey, Mike G.
All right, that was amazing. Thank you, Amarii, for coming to the show. Give me a hug. This was great. So what's next with you and your music? Tell us what's next.
What's next is Hotel Nashville. That's the album I'm working on.
All right, and there's no release date yet.
Not yet, not yet.
So that means you'll have to stay tuned for more of Amarii Davu. And as I always say, please keep it soulful. This was our last show, and we rocked it. I'm super happy. So in life, as always, please keep it soulful.